Who is the best pro from every country in the world? Well, starting off, we're going to obviously do Peterbot from America. Let's get that easy one done out the way. By the way, guys, if you're wondering how I'm deciding on this, I'm basically looking at their placements and how they performed this year. Now, speaking of placements, the second player we're talking about from Japan is by the name of FA. I don't know the real name of this player, but he's the best player in Japan. Next, from Russia, it's got to be Malibuka. Malibuka, he hasn't had as much, number ones type of placements this year, but he's been quite consistent, and he comes in for the best player this year from Russia. Now, one that actually surprised me, or might surprise you, but Iyamzo, he's actually not from America. He might live there, but he's from Canada. So this year he's been the best player from Canada. Now back over to Europe. We're switching from different regions the whole time in this video. But in Europe, it's gotta be Vico from Austria. He does have German ping. Either he lives there or just because he's from Austria, he's very close. But Vico has got to be the best Austrian player. And by the way, guys, the way I know where they're from is by Fortnite tracker, whatever map they have chosen. Now, Payo does have Mexico chosen as his map, but I don't know if that's a troll. But if it's not, Payo definitely has got to be the best Mexican player. But I didn't know he was Mexican. Guys, scratch that one. I'm not too sure about it. Alright, guys, the next country is got to be Australia. Now, this one is a little bit confusing because there's a player that has 1,000 more PR, basically the points that they get from placing well in tournaments this year, compared to Muzz. But I know Muzz was competing in the harder tournaments in America, so I'm going to give it to Muzz. Muzz is 100% the best Australian player out there. And this next one might surprise you, but the best player this year from the UK, it isn't Vino. It isn't Mongrel, unfortunately. It isn't the popular players that we know from UK. It actually is a player who has been consistently performing, Nathan. Now, he's due his CCB, but Nathan has 100% this year been the best player from the UK. Now, when you think of Denmark, who's the best player from Denmark? Usually you think of Thomas HD, but this year he just hasn't got those high placements as he usually used to. Now, sorry, I know he did come second in globals, so maybe this is where this system is flawed, going off of the power rankings. So basically, going off of the thing that judges their consistent placements more. But this is just how we're doing it. And to be fair, the best player this year, Scroll from Denmark, is definitely not a bad shout. I've seen him in the top 10s, top 5s of the biggest tournaments consistently. To be fair to him, he has performed really well. But let's not forget Thomas. That one was a bit of a hard one to choose. Thomas definitely could still challenge being the best Denmark pro in the world. Now, it's taken a bit of time to get here, but who is the best German pro in the world? Well, again, from the performances this year, it's gotta be Flixie. He won in an FNCS, and he's just been consistently winning other things and performing. So it's definitely got to go to Flixie for being the best German pro. Now, Teeny, where is he from? Because I actually didn't know this, but Teeny is from Slovenia, and he is the best Slovenian pro. I think that's maybe how you say it. I'm not too sure. Teeny, to be honest, he might be the best controller player in the world and the best Slovenian player in the world. He has been absolutely dominating. But let's go to a country that actually is not too far from there, I don't think. I'm not too sure. This is a weird transition. I might be wrong with that. But anyway, Ukraine. Who is the best player from Ukraine? It is Ping. He's played and dominated with his duo Wax. I don't know where he's from, but Ping has got to be the best Ukrainian pro. Now going on to the next country, HNR Kecharo Luko. I don't know if that's the correct way to pronounce his name, but he is the best Brazilian pro. Guys, I'm not too sure. I haven't been looking at the Brazil region that much, but placement points or the PR doesn't lie. To be honest, I also haven't heard as much from King this year, but this guy is apparently the best Brazilian pro this year from his placements. Now again guys, this is surprising me. I don't know if this is true, but chap, maybe he lives in Germany to get 0 ping, but I thought he was German, but his flag on the thing is Swiss. So if he is from Swiss, he's Switzerland, he is the best Swiss pro in the world. Let's move on to someone that I do think is from this country. Who is the best Swedish pro in the world? Well, it's gotta be HVKW. Now, what surprised me is I actually don't know a lot of these players, but also it could be their usernames in Fortnite. They just changed them for jokes, and that also is what could be making it a bit harder to know. But yeah, that guy is the best Swedish pro in the world. Now, we've said a lot of Europe and, well, America, United States and Brazil. That's really the big ones, and Canada. But let's go to the Middle East. Who is the best Saudi Arabian pro? It's got to be Twiz H, who plays for the professional esports team named Twisted Minds. And it's quickly going on to another pro who actually is kind of well known, and he's insane at fighting, from North Macedonia in Europe. His username is Harisbot, but his real pro name is Haris. And let's quickly go through a lot of these right now. From Poland, we have Cherry. Seen his name in a lot of the top placements. He is performing extremely well. Next person from Malta, I believe, is that flag Puma FV. I guess he's copied his name from the shoe brand. Yes, he is the best pro from Poland. Let's go quickly back to South America. Argentina. Yes, I actually haven't heard of many Argentina pros, but Shindin FV is the best Argentina pro from performances this year. And again, we're going on to a different country really quick. Who is the best Latvian pro? Well, you might be trying to think, who is it? You can't think of it. Mustache. Even though he's played with Malabuka, he's not actually from Russia. He can speak it, but he is a Latvian pro and the best one in the world. Again, to another country you might not have heard much about, Bosnia. Who is the best Bosnian pro? It's Chico, Teeny's teammate. And we're just quickly going through these. This one again, another country that, isn't like one of the biggest countries in the world, the way like, the UK, America, another smaller country, and honestly maybe one of the best players in the world, definitely the best IGL. It's Serbia with Queasy, who came second, just like Thomas HD, with Thomas HD in the recent globals. Now, a country that does have a nice population, which I'm surprised doesn't have a player higher up on these leaderboards, is Netherlands. But the best pro in the Netherlands this year has got to be Kiro. He's been consistently placing, maybe not as high as he'd want, but he's definitely been the best for Netherlands. The interesting thing now is a lot of the pros that are up here are actually, a lot of them are from the same country. But the next one that is from a different country is Egypt, and his username is War101. He is the best Egyptian pro. Guys, currently now I'm getting through a lot of countries. We're probably getting closer to the end here. I'm going to try and quick fire some of these players because, they're not really as popular and stuff like that. But, they're still performing well. Next, from Peru, I believe, it is SMK Mist 2022. Quickly to Israel, it's Focus YH10. I actually have seen his name here and there, but I don't know much about him. Now, next player I have heard of, and we've seen a lot of him before, he's a great player, iDrop from Norway. Unfortunately, Mr. Savage isn't taking the best Norwegian pro in the world this year because his placements just haven't been as good anyway as iDrop. Next professional player has got to be, Wave Cringe here for Switzerland. he would be the best Swiss pro if earlier I was wrong about, I'm trying to think, who was it? I can't remember. But yeah, that pro, if he actually isn't Swiss, then Cringe is definitely the best Switzerland pro in the world. Now, a country that is actually very popular but we haven't heard of yet is Italy. And the best professional player from Italy is Predage. I've heard of him a lot, especially on Asiatic Stream. He's a really good pro player and he's performed relatively well this year. Now, what is the next? Well, the next country is Lebanon with the pro player of the name Titans Snow. Don't know much about him, but fair play, he's doing good for Lebanon. The next country is a country that we haven't seen that much of their players perform this year, which is very surprising. But it's gotta be France. You know, France used to be dominating Fortnite the whole time. But I don't know what's happening this year, but I do know Solari Kurama has been the best French pro this year. Next country, Pakistan, and he goes by the name of Titans Helan. Heard of him before, probably a decent enough player. Next, from Belgium, I believe that flag is Kasper Inovic. Just like Netherlands, I'm surprised they don't have more pros. Quite a popular country, but just some reason does not have as much pros placing as you might think. Alright guys, to finish up this video, I'm going to say 5 more countries that have had their best pros this year. VDS UPL for Estonia. I don't know him, but I do know Karmi, who also is a good Estonian player. You see that he performed well there, very similar performances. Another country we haven't seen yet today, TPS Julia for Chile. And the next team, let me see quickly. Greece is the next country. Sir Ninja Eta, I don't know him, but he is the best pro in Greece. And actually another country is quite popular but doesn't have that many pros dominating this year has got to be Spain, with the pro player KPI Clone being their best player. Alright guys, the next country and the last has got to be who is the best pro from Ireland, and that's got to go to Ego Nipsey. I've heard of him. He's a great player. You know, maybe not dominating or beating all the best pros in the world, but he's definitely a good player and the best Irish pro in the world. Alright guys, I hope you find this video interesting. A lot of different countries, you know, it's good to see that the biggest countries in the world aren't the only ones dominating. And you know, people from small countries, guys, you can become good players, you can become pros, you can dominate. Alright, thanks for watching. Maybe you enjoyed this video as well. Don't forget to subscribe, and goodbye.